Here we go for our, it's our second day of summer garden tour. Wiley will be staying with us. Fireworks are happening. So, yeah, so we got a lot of growing going on. Still have the butterflies. You know, they're pretty much staying with the lavender. And so I'm kind of liking that. So over here, I just planted some zinnias in here. So I have the cover so they can come up. This squash down here is not getting enough sun, I don't think. Okay. Over here, I have some lettuce coming up. Those were coming up from seed. I have a lettuce going to seed right here, as well as, if you can see it, one going to seed here, some more zinnias in the back, and I did plant some flowers, and both of the flower pots have some volunteer tomatoes. We've got peppers, and I still have the broccoli plants. These were tomatillos, and I've transplanted several of them, and I still have some more that I can transplant so that those onions in there can be doing their thing. Mom's rose bush over there is doing good. We lost most of the blossoms on the pomegranate tree. I'm going to be seeing if I can find a corner that is protected by a fence that will block the sun. I know, baby, I know. She's very, very frightened by the fireworks. But if you guys have been around or you know me, Wiley was a stray and we couldn't even pet her, couldn't even come close to her, and she knows we'll take care of her now. So she's right here. So this is zucchini. This is feverfew. I have a little bird bath that gets watered by when I water the garden, it gets water. So some bell peppers. We've got our first actual bell pepper down there. Whoa. We got a helper. She's helping. She's learning about noises in the garden that are just regular noises. It's kind of actually cool, because there's some things, if you touch them, they make a noise. And oh, we got Olive too. Now, Olive is like a bull in a china shop. So, more zucchini, a random volunteer tomato. I have, down inside there, I have spinach coming up, and I've covered that, and I believe these are cucumbers over here coming up. I hope I wrote it down. Tomatillos. There's my mom's chair. My mom always said a garden without a chair was unfriendly, so I have a few. And that one actually was from her garden. And in the morning, this place right here is shaded, and it's the nicest place in the garden, except I have a rose that has shot up here. Yeah, so a lot of my watering, it waters a plant and then it feeds down into another plant. My favorite tomatoes are champion tomatoes, and if you haven't seen them, I have 6 of them along that wall, and then I have some more right here, and I have peas growing in this one as well. So there's randomly some peas growing in here. This bamboo trellis, I made this several years ago, and so this year it's here helping with those tomatoes and the peas. I did plant some flowers. So there's some, I believe it's verbena or lantana. Lantana, white. Planted it in with the, look, we're still getting broccoli. I have some jalapenos here. Look at there. We've got some jalapenos coming. Woohoo! It's interesting. The plant that doesn't look so good actually has jalapenos. The one that looks beautiful, none yet. So here I have yellow, I think it's yellow squash, and nasturtiums. And so far the squirrels have left them alone. I have lemon, okay, so lemon balm. This is my lemon balm. And actually it's growing all over the place. It's seeded. I have celery down here in these pots down here, and they reseeded themselves. These flowers, the dianthus or sweet William, they came back from last year. I have shamrocks in there, and those were my mom's. There's some more lemon balm. We've got a yellow squash back there, and that nasturtium totally got ate. I have beans. I have a little teepee that I built here, and so I'm putting beans at the bases of them so that they can grow up, and I just thought that would be kind of fun. Here I have my poblano chili, and so the thing about them is they grow and they grow, and then when they're ready, holy mackerel, they do really well here. These, I have 2 more jalapenos. This one has some jalapenos on it, and so does this one. Oh my gosh, how exciting. And I have my towers here. Oh, look at there. Look. And I believe those are jalapeno babies that came up from the jalapenos from last year. So that'll be exciting. We'll see how they do. I have potatoes in my 5-gallon buckets here, and I have tomatillos. I have a bunch of them. I made a sauce last year, one time, out of my tomatillos. It was so good that I went ahead and I was like, okay, I'm keeping as many as decide to come up. So those are my potatoes. We've already harvested that one, and it had 5. It only had one potato in it apparently. It had 5 little potatoes. Here we have another squash. You see, this one gets more sun. It apparently, whatever it's happening here, it really likes it. Oh, there's a tomato in the middle of it too, and another one back there. I have tomatoes coming up everywhere. Down here, I think, I don't remember what these are. They're squash, but I don't remember what kind. I have an artichoke down here and some lemon balm. They're enjoying growing together. This is a pumpkin. Last year I grew a pumpkin on the deck here, and it went all over, but it was not part of my watering system, so it did not do well. But remember, we grew 10 pumpkins, 10 full-size jack-o'-lantern pumpkins in the pumpkin garden, which hopefully we're going to get to that this week. Okay, I've got them, I have them started. So, yeah, so here's a pole bean, the first one growing up, one of the teepees. And you'll see I've planted some pole beans in this pot, and I'm gonna let it share this teepee. And that's right, I forgot I had a problem earlier. I need to work on this one and make sure it's steady. So this is a wind chime that I made out of a belt and the fish, and made that for my dad one year for Father's Day. And of course, he's not here anymore, and so I took it right off the wall and brought it home, put it in my garden. And so it has down here, it has clanking fence posts. If Tom needs some fence post thingies, fence caps, he can come and grab them from there. But okay, well, right now I have a mulberry tree growing in here. It's not gonna get to stay, but I haven't put anything else in here yet. Over here, there's a purple Cherokee tomato and some more volunteer tomatoes. And then this I call the cert garden. This was the top of a thing that Tom used the other piece. It was a clamshell container. Used the other piece to make a closed thing for the trailer, for a light trailer. And then I got the piece that was left over, and this is about its 6th or 7th year. That's feverfew there in the middle, and then there's a couple of tomatillos. I did plant some thyme and some dill, and I split them in half. So there's some more thyme and dill over there, and I got those at the grocery store. Those little, the ones that you get in the produce department. And this one is done with a soaker hose, all of this. Now over here, on this side, I planted zinnias, and they're just coming up down there. Do you see them? And they're gonna be the giant ones. And then this is it says it's a sage. I think it's a salvia, but I've been wrong before, many, many times. I have my first cantaloupe coming up over there in the corner, and the cantaloupe has done really well coming up and climbing up this fence. We got 5 of them last year. They were small, but they were the perfect size for me and Tom, and they were delicious. Oh, looks like we might have another one coming up in that corner. So, and then a random bean that came up. So, I did have artichokes up there in that corner, but they didn't make it through vacation. So these were supposed to be bush beans, but apparently they are pole beans. So luckily for the cucumbers behind it, I had put this trellis in here. So I'm going to be grabbing some bamboo and attaching it to the chair so that the beans will have a bigger place to go. I have the same setup back here. Pole beans, thought they were bush. They might be bush beans. And cucumbers. Okay, we do have a little artichoke back there in that corner that we are babying. We'll see. We'll see. There's my watering system and feverfew. This right now is a disaster, but it is the best place to be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when the wind is blowing. Or when the wind is breezing. I just planted some radishes in one of these. This right here is Tom's dad's wheelbarrow. And we have sunflowers that decided to come and grow right here. There were some planted in here last year, and so some went to seed, and I am so excited to have them growing here in the wheelbarrow. There's lemon balm in here also. No. Yes, lemon balm. Okay, so more of it here. And then over in the back there, it's actually going to seed. Here's some more of the shamrocks with the purple flower. This is my fountain. It has kicked the bucket. It is a solar fountain. There's its solar panel, but it is not working. So I have to order a new pump for it. We call these the October flowers. They're an aster, purple, Monte Cassino. And they're in several places in our yard. And so then I have this over here that I don't know what I'm doing with. That is amazing, that bench right there. It's a kneeling bench or a sitting bench for working in the garden. It is awesome. I do have some peas that came up in here. Again, this is feverfew. I need to come in and cut it. Looks like I need to cut the lemon balm too, or it's gonna do its thing. So right here I planted some more bush beans, and I'm going to make this table into a trellis. I got these black poles, 4 of them, from Yaya Arlene when I got the canopy bed. And I was like, oh, they'll go in the table. So I'm going to do some kind of trellising here. And I have another tomato, and it's going to get to grow up here. And I have another tote to go here. It's still a work in progress. So right now, this is my little workplace, and that's got my dirt in it. So working on this area. There's my little composting bins that Tom got me for my birthday. I love them. And we have a scallop, little green scallop, like a Peter Pan squash there in the middle, and then pole beans, and they are doing well. The first one has attached itself, and then marigolds. I have marigold in this one and in the one over there. So we've got the butterflies going on. Planted these cucumbers. They were volunteers. I planted them from where they came up, and I just put them in here. Of course, hottest day of the year so far, but I needed them to be moved. These are my Armenian cucumbers, and these ones are doing really good. These ones are doing better. And it looks like these ones are going to snap out of it. So that's exciting. I like the Armenian cucumbers. They have a soft skin, and so you don't have to peel them. And because they are grown in my garden, you can eat the peel and not worry that they've been sprayed with something or wax or anything. They're wonderful. So I have these in totes. They go down to the tray, and then we empty the tray into those, and you can see those 3 plants right there. Whatever is there is going to be getting really good fertilizer tea water. Okay, we've got a little plant here. So this is the canopy bed, and I've added some branches to the top because it's hot, and I want the birds to be able to land on the branches, not onto the hot canopy. And so, yeah. So we have our little guy here gardening. He's gardening. We've got our bunny and this little goodie in the center. You know, it's kind of fun to just have things. There's our big rooster, and I think he's got 3 hens. Oh, maybe he's got 2. I thought he had 3. I have the peacocks. This is the strawberries. I moved them over here because they were sending runners. And so I've got their runners going into things so that we can propagate those. For a closer look of the pomegranate tree here. And yes, we have a palm tree here in the desert. It's really fun to see the palm tree in the winter with snow on it. So this is my strawberry towers. The top did good, but the bottom 2 levels did not do so good. They're still trying to hang in there, but they are not sending leaves. So today I added bush bean seeds in there. I have tomatoes here also. I believe these are going to be cherry tomatoes, which will be wonderful. They do really well here, cherry tomatoes, because they don't split. Got a bean growing in the middle of those here. So again, the canopy bed, the net I got on Amazon, and it was a perfect fit. So things can grow up that. I brought my other stick over here and have it just kind of leaning and giving the birds a place to land. So I have tomatoes in both of the anchor pots here, one here and the one over there. They're in giant whiskey barrels. And then they have, this one has oregano and basil and onions and chives. My onions are doing their thing. They're 2 years old, so they're doing their seed thing. And I put one of those into that planter last year, and when I came out in the beginning in spring this year, I had onions growing in there, so we'll be doing that again. Over here I have San Mariano, I think that's what they are, tomatoes, basil again. The basil is from the grocery store, from the produce department, and I split it into 3 pieces. So I have one in here, and one in here, and one in the other whiskey barrel down on the end. So you can make spaghetti out of that. That one right there. So this is another champion tomato. And another thing I do when I'm walking around the garden, especially if we haven't had any wind, is I just hit all the blossoms on all the tomatoes to help them pollinate. They self-pollinate, but you know, we'll help them out. So I have a random, I believe that's going to be a cucumber. I have no idea what kind, but I gave it a stick today. We have oregano that has started growing back in there, and it is loving it. Look at it go. Look at it go. So, yeah, in the middle of April, there was nothing in these two tens, and now all that. So right down here, I have a Bing cherry. It is a little tiny patio cherry tomato, and it came up from seed. And I was hoping more than that one would come up, but so far I have that one and a little tiny one down there. So, got Wiley out here. So, these totes have Persian tomatoes, and then they have bush beans. This is a volunteer tomato. It looks like it might be a cherry tomato. Possibly could be one of the yellow pear tomatoes. That would be awesome. So we will see. These are early girl, and I always get 6 early girls and plant them in those 5-gallon pots right there. So these volunteers down there, those are early girls probably. We have more strawberries, more shamrocks from my mom's, and I have some pots that are ready to get something new in them. I have another volunteer tomato, and it looks like probably cherry tomato. There's chamomile back there. I just harvested it, and we have early girl tomatoes coming. So that's exciting. I get the early girl tomatoes because I am ready to not eat grocery store tomatoes. And so, yeah, so the volunteers are ready. I mean, they're getting close, but the ones that I purchased at the store are fruiting already. So these will grow quite tall, and I'll be getting out the bamboo and putting, I was supposed to do that already, haven't done it yet, but I was supposed to put the bamboo stakes. So down this row, I don't want to disturb Wiley. She's having a hard time with those fireworks. So I've planted pole beans in those, and then I've got some radishes in the front of one of them. You can see this one went to seed today. It was yellow yesterday. So we'll be grabbing a bag and capturing those. What I did is I took one of those heads like that, and I put it in this planter. I just put the whole head in here. So there's still more little lettuces coming up. And then these are zinnias. So, and these lettuces, they all came up from whatever. They were volunteers also. When I say volunteers, it's something that everything except for the mulberry bush came probably from something in my garden, but that mulberry tree, that I don't know where it came from. But look at a bell pepper, the jalapenos. We've got, this will be the first champion tomato. I love them. They're about the size of a baseball. They're perfect for a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. And they also make great sauce. They are a little seedy, but they still make a great sauce. And they grow really well here in the desert. So one last look around. Like I said, I moved all this. I guess these pots are getting ready for the turmeric and ginger. I'll be planting those tomorrow. And so that tray, these all go into the tray, and then the tray goes down into that, and I use that as fertilizer water for a couple of the plants that don't get water from the watering system. So yeah, if you have any questions, there's that one over there is actually bee balm, and I've got a couple places on it that are ready to bloom. And so I brought it over where the cantaloupe, those are not cantaloupes, those are cucumbers. I brought them over to the cucumbers so that they would help pollinate. We get some bees over there, hopefully. So, yeah. So, interesting. I'm like a month late. So, getting out here and getting everything started. And I'm still on the planting and getting things where they need to be for their best sun that we can have. Yeah, so I have my little walkway here that I want to do either mosaic or those daisies or both. Like I could put a daisy in that little spot right there, and maybe in that little spot right there, the daisy out of rocks. So that is the pumpkin patch. We had an infestation of mustard. We have never had anything like, I mean, this property has, I've known and been here. We've been married going on 14 years. And before that I would come and visit for like 2, and we never had hardly any, like maybe a tumbleweed, 3 tumbleweeds a year. But the whole horseshoe pit was covered that deep. The volleyball court, which is over behind there, Tom worked on that today, and it was as tall as me in this mustard stuff. It has been crazy. I think it might have, I don't know, come from cloud seeding. I don't know. Oh my gosh, look at all those tomato blossoms. Woohoo! Yeah, I hope. So my roses are done over here, and they were beautiful. Two of them were beautiful other colors that reverted back to their base color, which then matches what was already here. So it's okay. So there you go. There's my mom's chair. Happy sitting place. We've got blossoms on the tomatillos over here. They're so happy. So this right here, behind it is the Whimsy garden. That's something I'll be working on once I get the food garden all situated, all the watering fixed. So each of these pots, I set up each of these pots. They get, like the video that I showed with the sticks and the leaves and all the stuff, at least every other year, and many of them get it every year. So it is quite the ordeal, but I'm almost there. I'm almost out of pots. Is that when you're done? Is when you run out of pots, you're done? Yep. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me on this garden tour. And I am in zone 8B, Southern California, the high desert. And yeah, we do get snow, we do get freezing, and we do go into the triple digits. We did it today. We were triple digits today. So another thing is I got to work on my wall over there. It's things are different, and the thing that was there is gone, so I need to work on that. So yeah, so here's Wiley still right here with me. Olive coming in, and I don't know where Chip is, but so yeah. So what is the strangest thing that you've used in your garden? I think a canopy bed is pretty strange. So one day we'll go around and just look at all the weird things that we have here, because like we have an umbrella stand. This is a stand for a Sparkletts water bottle. We've got an old drafting bench there. The statue came from the grocery store. That was a jewelry holder, the bird thing there in the bird bath. So yeah. We got bar stools that came from Sally and Mike's when they moved to Somas. We've got chairs that Tom has had forever. And we've got the boards from a futon. So the boards that are on the chairs are from a futon. That's just a little taste of the strange things that you'll find in my garden. I love to reuse and repurpose. So, yeah. Okie dokie. Well, with that, I've got my trash all ready here. I've got to roll up the hose, and Tom will mow the lawn tomorrow probably. So, there we go. Oh yeah. Don't forget to close the gate on your way out. Have a great day. Bye. Bye-bye.